I'm sat in the studio and it's rather hot, and I've had a delivery of these 2 new Bibles to review for the NIV, the journaling and verse mapping ones. It's very hot in here, and as you can see, I've still in the process of sorting the shop stuff out, but I thought you might like to have a little nosy through. So this is the this one. I've had a little sneaky peek first so that I can tell you what I want to say. Inside, front cover, they are both the same, except for this one has got a pink introduction, and again same on the back page. One's in the normal grey colour and one's in the pink, but apart from that they are exactly the same Bible, except for the outside cover obviously. So for those of you who don't like pink, as soon as you've done those first 2 pages and put a bit of colour on them, you won't have any pink anymore. Me, I like pink, so it's not a problem. It's a lovely front cover, this one. I like the kit. That's the front. Turn it over to the side, and there's the back. So, and this one is based on the Japanese art idea that when porcelain gets broken, they use the gold to repair the cracks to make it into something really special. So how is this Bible different? Well, the first thing that they've included, which I think is really quite good because I use them a lot, is they've included a small concordance at the back, which the Bible guide there, you can see it is quite small print, but it does give you a concordance, which is great when your Wi-Fi is not working, as often is the case for me when I'm out and about. And then it says there's a Bible guide there with some of the bits about each book, and then the text. So the text, I think it looks at about 12 possibly, font 12. To guess, I'd have to check that for you, but look into it like that. And then inside it has these pages. I just need to find a particular page first to show you. A key somewhere. Of course, now I can't find it. Right, you get these pages like this interspersed that say verse map thing, and it asks you questions. Prayerfully choose a verse to map. Consider the verse in 2 to 4 translations. That's really good to use Bible Gateway for that. You can hear my phone going off in the back. Then cross-reference your verse to find a related passage. Sometimes you can find that in the footnotes of things. What is happening in this verse? Study the character, the historical context, or the doctrines, that means the information behind it, and make notes that you feel led. How is God speaking to you through this verse, and what does it mean to your life? And prayerfully respond to what God has shown you through this verse. And then it's got on this particular page, it's got a page for you to be able to write some things down and to colour in and decorate. I'd say they're quite thick card actually. Can you hear the paper? That's sort of how thin the paper is on these. Whereas these inserts, you can hear the paper, it's more of a, almost going towards a card. Might be about a 130 or 150 instead. But then it's got these questions. Can you see all these little symbols? What does it require of me? How can it change the way I interact with people? How does it lead me to prayer? So these, I think there's 8 of them, is that right? 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. And occasionally, there's another page there where there's things, and then there's a page where you can colour in. There's another verse mapping page there. And then it's got 6 boxes for you to be able to answer the 6 questions of those ones there. So there's one with a chart, and then what it's done on the next page is it's broken it up into shapes really, and there's a few different versions of these throughout the book where you can then answer those 7 points. So there'll be 7 boxes for you to decorate, say 7 pictures, or you could write 7 words. Again, it's looking at a verse, and it's asking you to pick out particular words. I often do this when I do a Bible study. I'll read it and decide which word's jumping out at me, And then usually one of the first things I do is I look it up in a Bible, just in a normal dictionary, and find out what the origin of a word is. Sometimes you might get the version for where it's come from, and that can be really helpful to show you how it's perhaps changed, and how it actually might have meant something different to what you thought it might have meant as a word. I've been listening to some talks this morning by Honiton Community Church on the Beatitudes, countercultural stuff, and that's been talking about the word blessed, and how a lot of the time we think it means happiness, but it doesn't really. See, there's another page like that that's been broken up into another type of direction with another bit for you to fill in. Yeah, you can listen to the sermons for the Honiton one if you go to their site, or find them on Facebook. Blessed is she. Another verse to look at there. Don't know how many altogether there are in this book, but they're the same in both the Bibles. I don't know how many in total there are, because of course I didn't actually read the blurb, because that would be too organised, wouldn't it? But it's really a guide for getting you going and making you think about, well, what does it mean to look at a verse? I mean, I was sort of taught how to systematically look at a Bible passage, and to look what goes beforehand, to look what's come after, what's the context of something. And this is really to get you started on that. There's not loads of things to colour in, but there's a few bits and pieces and verses to look at, and it just gives you some ideas. And if you're anything like me, your Bible starts to fill up anyway, so you get to the point where you need a new Bible. So I'm going to be adding both this one and this one to the website. They're almost due to be launched. Again, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but I will be adding them to the site for pre-order this afternoon. Okay, bye.